實我哋今日咧，其實就想同大家即係過去嗰幾個禮拜啦，咁其實大家都可能都有聽到啲新聞，就係其實英國或者身邊嘅朋友都係話關於講英國啊。咁啊，其實英國咧，其實就係佢放寬咗，其實佢嗰個即係 BNO 啦。咁其實大家嗰個即係申請嗰個即係 policy 嗰啲，咁其實最快明年其實1月就已經開始啦。咁我相信其實可能其實而家好多身邊嘅朋友咧都有分享過啊，其實即係會唔會考慮英國啊，或者可能其實身邊甚至可能有好多朋友咧，其實都已經同你講啊，其實我嚟緊下個月我要飛去英國啦。咁其實因為我自己身邊其實真係有發生呢個嘅事件，就係即係佢好快就已經決定咗要去英國啦。咁其實就即係下個月都會即係都會離開香港啦。咁其實我相信可能大家都會心裏邊都會有呢個咁嘅考慮啦。咁其實個考慮嘅話，其實喺即係喺第二度生活咧，其實大家都會諗起其實即係究竟即係住屋啊、工作啊，即係可能係即係小朋友嘅教育啊，其實好多即係好多方面咯。咁其實我哋其實都即係有見及此啦。咁其實我哋即係之前大家都有收睇我哋嘅直播嘅話咧，其實都即係即係我哋都希望可以即係帶俾唔同資訊俾大家。咁除咗資訊之外咧，其實咧就即係好多唔同嘅即係地區裏邊有唔同嘅城市啦。咁其實大家都可能會考慮到會唔會去呢度住，去嗰度住啦。咁所以其實即係大家可能即係提開英國，咁其實都會諗下去倫敦啦。其實呢個都會係第一個會考慮咯。咁其實倫敦咧，其實我知道其實除咗倫敦之外，有好多唔同嘅即係英國好多城市啦。咁其實即係好似即係Vanessa，咁其實你有冇去過去過其他英國嘅城市？例如話可能聽過其他城市啊，可能係即係曼徹斯特啊，或者可能係利物浦啊，或者其他嘅城市聽過咧？
我就自己就未去過嘅，咁但係即係旅遊嘅資訊就好多啦。咁但係其實即係所以今日咧，其實我哋就即係會同大家帶嚟關於英國 Liverpool 利物浦嘅一啲 information 啦。咁但係可能咧好多時聽起利物浦咧，其實對嗰邊房產唔係好多認識，因為主要如果香港人咧通常自住或者投資咧都係揀英國倫敦啦。咁無論係即係 Zone 1啊、2啊咁樣啦。咁因為嗰邊即係可能學校啊，或者其實香港亦都係有好似我哋平台啦，都有好多即係倫敦嘅房產啦。咁但係利物浦就真係少啲。可能我自己對利物浦嘅印象就係足球同埋就係 Beatles 咁樣咯。
係啦。咁啊，其實咧，我哋其實點解今日想同大家講下利物浦咧？其實就係除咗倫敦，其實可能大家即係都有留意翻英國嘅房產，其實都知道倫敦咧，其實都幾逼啦，係啦。咁其實咧開始都好多人會諗住去倫敦。咁其實令到當地其實都會好多人去即係個需求好大。咁啊，其實如果需求大嘅話，其實嗰個房價啦，咁或者可能其實都係會比較即係相對比較都會高啲啊。咁其實可能大家都會可能諗下，其實除咗倫敦之外，我有冇其他選擇咧？倫敦唔係唔好，咁但係可能其實大家可能如果喺生活啊，或者可能係其他嘅方面咧，其實都可能會諗下其他城市。
可能其他城市亦都會係個水平比較低少少啦。咁所以可能即係地方咁大，其實可能即係今日都想介紹更加多嘅地方啦，或者選擇俾大家去參考咯。
係啊，咁所以因為其實利物浦咧，我哋都做咗少少功課啦。當然，咁我哋做呢個直播之前，咁其實發覺其實利物浦除咗大家啱啱 Vanessa 提到嘅，即係利物浦足球啦，咁我 Beatles 啦，咁啊其實佢咧喺當地嗰個即係個經濟啦、發展啦，咁同埋其實個生活水平其實都係啊，教育其實咧其實都係唔錯嘅。咁所以其實咧，我哋都想今日同大家分享，即係介紹下利物浦呢個嘅即係呢一個嘅城市啦。咁啊，另外當然啦，我都有啲即係一個比較特別啲嘅項目，想同大家去即係介紹翻。咁呢一個其實咧就係即係英國喺一個好大嘅即係活化嘅即係計劃，係啦，歷史建築嘅。咁其實呢個歷史建築有幾特別，有幾 unique 咧？咁其實咧就希望大家咧可以繼續咧收睇我哋呢個咁嘅直播啦。咁首先其實同佢講下，即係大家都想同大家提翻啦，就係我哋呢個即係呢個直播其實希望俾啲資訊俾大家啦。咁其實都俾大家做個參考啊。咁其實如果大家有啲即係唔同嘅，即係當然啦，大家嘅即係要求啊，嗰個
投資可能 budget 啊，或者即係可能地區啊需求都唔同，咁所以希望今日直播就帶多啲資訊俾大家啦。咁或者亦都係大家有更加可能詳盡嘅資料想知道嘅話，都歡迎問翻專家啦，或者可以即係 private message 我哋去幫大家解答問題嘅。
係啦，咁或者可能其實我哋今日即係而家呢一個直播室啦，其實大家亦都可以留言啦。咁其實咧，咁我哋嚟緊即係我哋嚟緊都會請啲嘉賓上嚟去同我哋分享佢哋嘅資訊。咁其實我哋都會將你嘅問題咧問翻我哋嚟緊我哋嘅嘉賓 speaker 啦。咁啊，我哋咧即係事不宜遲啊，講咗咁耐，係啦。咁我哋首先其實都想同大家即係講下利物浦。咁其實利物浦除咗足球，其實究竟佢樣係咩？係個城市係點咧？咁其實唔緊要。咁其實咧，我哋得個講字咧，其實大家係 visualize 唔到嘅。咁所以其實我哋而家咧就諗住即係俾個片段大家睇下，究竟而家 Liverpool 係啲乜嘢啦？係啦
，OK，
係啦，係啦。
Welcome to Liverpool, one of the UK's most vibrant cities. Famous for its football teams, its music, the Beatles, and its rich cultural history. Liverpool has the UK's second highest number of art galleries, museums, heritage buildings, and parks outside of London. The historic city centre has been awarded World Heritage Site status by UNESCO due to its extensive network of Victorian-era docks and waterways. Liverpool's waterfront offers a lively mix of cafes, restaurants, and tourist attractions, and is one of the most visited cities in the UK. The city contains 4 universities and is home to 56,000 full-time students. Liverpool is home to the oldest Chinese community in Europe and has many Chinese businesses, such as Chinese restaurants and supermarkets, and facilities for the Chinese community. Chinese people first came to Liverpool in 1834, when the first vessel direct from China arrived in Liverpool's docks to trade such goods as silk and cotton wool. Chinese people are now the city's largest ethnic group.
係啦，咁其實大家啱啱睇完呢個片段咧，其實就係介紹即係 Liverpool 呢個城市利物浦啦。咁其實大家即係其實可能即係聽一睇個名比較多，其實都係文字上。咁所以其實我哋就覺得不如咧，我哋透過呢個直播咧，就同大家分享下即係一啲即係比較即係視頻嘅形式，即係視像，大家可以知道了解多少少啦。咁當然啦，咁其實究竟即係喺利物浦生活啊，或者利物浦多啲嘅資訊，咁當然梗係問個本地人會好啲啦。咁所以其實我今日咧，我哋呢個直播咧，其實就請咗英國喺利物浦即係英國有個嘉賓啦。咁其實咧，佢就會同我哋即係分享多啲，究竟其實喺利物浦生活啦，咁其實究竟係咪即係對香港人究竟佢即係香港人適唔適合住啦？咁啊同埋其實佢嗰個 lifestyle 係點啦？即係當然啦，大家都明白喺香港即係香港同即係外國生活都係有好多唔同，究竟點唔同法啦？咁啊同埋究竟其實大家都好關心啦。其實嗰個 property trend 其實嗰個樓市其實當地究竟係除咗住衣食住行咧呢樣嘢啦，咁啊究竟住係點啦？咁同埋究竟大家如果係即係去投資當地嗰個房產股係點啦？咁其實咧即係呢一個同倫敦同埋倫敦比較究竟係點？因為頭先我哋都話其實好多人諗起英國通常都係倫敦先，係啦。咁所以其實我都想同大家分享翻其實呢幾樣嘅資訊咯。咁所以我哋其實就即係我哋而家就事不宜遲啦，我哋咧就介紹我哋今日第一位嘉賓出嚟
Andy
係啦 ，Andy 係啦。
Hello, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Hi.
Good evening, Vanessa.
And good morning to you.
Yeah.
Midday.
Midday.
Yeah. 係啦，咁其實 Andy 咧，其實咧就係即係佢係即係英國利物浦嗰邊啦。咁其實即係就係 Logic Estate 嘅嗰邊嘅代表啦。咁其實咧，佢哋都喺當地都係好即係好豐富嘅經驗。其實係關於房產上面。咁當然啦，喺利物浦咁當然咁我哋梗係揾個當地人同我哋分享就好過我哋喺度齋咁打歌啊片嗰啲啦。係啦，咁所以其實咧，即係都想我哋嚟緊都會問翻 Andy， 其實究竟頭先即係咁利物浦當地係點啊？係啦，咁適唔適合住啊？買樓點啊，投資點啊，嗰個 trend 係點啊，咁所以其實我哋嚟緊都會問 Andy 嘅，係啦，係。So Andy, so would you like to introduce yourself to our Hong Kong audience first? Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Andy Ferguson, one of the co-owners here at Logic Estates is the main broker, is it, I believe you call them, for Harcourt Developments, who are the developer of Stanley Dock, which is what we're introducing to you today.
係，咁 Andy 其實咧佢就係即係當地地產即係經紀代表嘅 co-owner 啦。咁啊，其實佢今日就同我哋再去講多啲，其實究竟利物浦其實佢當地係點，同埋其實究竟佢今日想同我哋介紹嗰個地區，其實唔單止項目㗎，其實因為其實即係講緊我哋嗰個發展，其實個 Stanley Dock 係啦 ，Stanley Dock 成個嗰個 area 係點咯。咁但當然梗係首先問下 Andy 一啲問題先啦。咁可以 So the first question I would like to ask Andy is is Liverpool a good place for Hong Kong people to migrate to? Because we know that recently, the current trend in Hong Kong, like many people considering migrate to UK, and the first city they think of is London, but London is quite expensive right now. So yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about Liverpool? Can you share more how's living in Liverpool?
Yeah, I think Liverpool is a great place for Hong Kong people to consider emigrating to. Reiterating on what the video said before, Liverpool's got the oldest Chinese community in Europe, and it actually represents the largest ethnic minority in Liverpool. We've already got many Chinese and Hong Kong people living and thriving, doing very well in Liverpool. And with the UK's open liberal society and respected law system, it's a huge draw for emigration, not just from Hong Kong, but from all over the world. But we do see a lot of the Chinese community growing and thriving in Liverpool every week.
係頭先其實睇片段嘅時候咧，咁都有睇到介紹，就係話即係喺利物浦嗰個華人社區咧，真係歷史悠久啦，同埋即係可能華人都係佔成個即係種族嘅即係最大嘅部分。
係啊，分分鐘可能佢哋個唐人街或者可能佢個華人個歷史分分鐘仲即係遠遠流長過倫敦咯。其實係啊，咁其實大家可能即係大家都會去到即係諗就係其實我去到一個地方會唔會好陌生啊？會唔會冇華人社區啊？其實唔會嘅。其實講真，係可能大家即係去過旅行都知道，其實好多地方都有 Chinatown 呢樣嘢。咁所以其實大家亦都唔需要太擔心。其實 Liverpool 都係有好多華人喺度住啦。咁頭先 Andy 都同我哋講，其實佢華人個社區咧，其實即係可能因為近排呢幾年啦，其實都發展得非常之迅速咯。係啊。咁we talk about we already talk about Liverpool is a good place. So I think you definitely would say that Liverpool offer a good lifestyle. So how about if Hong Kong people migrate to Liverpool, so they will bring their families, they will then bring their kids. So
is it a good place for education or for retirement?
Yeah. Hello again. I think Liverpool is a fantastic cultural city that I think Hong Kong people would benefit from if they were to emigrate here or even just invest here or visit. As I said before, many of them already doing so day to day. We have many cultural offerings, not just from the football, but we've been designated as a music city by UNESCO, and we're also a World Heritage have World Heritage status. A huge draw for the Chinese community and Hong Kong people is our major education system that we have in Liverpool. We have 4 major universities, which totals around 60,000 students currently and growing all the time, up to 10,000 international students, many of them from Hong Kong and China. Liverpool was actually voted the #1 UK destination for Chinese students by the British Council, which is great. Means many Chinese students are comfortable here, confident, and feel safe. It was actually recently confirmed as the safest of 32 UK cities by a major insurance company, which basically 98% of residents said they feel safe and secure to live in Liverpool. Okay, cost of living is nearly 40% cheaper than London, which is always a big draw. Liverpool's a vibrant, innovative city with fantastic architecture. A lot of people don't realise how much architecture Liverpool has outside of London. In fact, there's more listed buildings in Liverpool than any other city outside of London. Famous for its major tourist destinations, such as the Three Graces, one being the famous Liber buildings, the Albert Dock, which Stanley Dock, very similar to a major destination. The Liverpool One Shopping Centre, because I know how the Chinese like to go to the nice shops. We've got, not forgetting the two major Premiership football teams, Liverpool and Everton, both with a major global following, and of course, home to the Beatles, whether you like them or not. There's endless choices for leisure opportunities in the city. A multitude of restaurants, bars, many catering again to the Chinese communities with Chinese restaurants and delis and supermarkets, very vibrant around the university areas. Arts and culture, well catered for. Several museums and art galleries, such as the Tate, Walker Art Gallery. We have the World Museum, Maritime Museum, which celebrates the rich maritime heritage that Liverpool has and links with China, with the trades. Also, we have the British Music Experience, again, playing on the fact that Liverpool's a major music destination, plus numerous parks and open spaces, and 2 cathedrals. As a result of that, we have over 7 million people visit Liverpool a year. I think it's the largest visited place outside of London in the UK.
係，thank you，Andy。我哋都講翻少少，即係同大家講下啲啱啱嘅即係 key points 啦，或者 highlights 啦。咁啊，其實啱啱咧，Andy 同我哋咧即係概括咗咧，就係 Liverpool 喺無論喺教育啦、喺生活啦，同埋其實喺嗰個即係喺個旅遊嗰個行業裏邊咧，其實咧利物浦咧，其實真係唔講唔知，其實原來咧都幾多嘢可以值得我哋去關注。咁啊，首先咧，其實就係即係講開嗰個教育啦。咁其實大家即係其實即係除咗倫敦聽來，即係大家聽好多好熟悉嘅大學先，其實利物浦都有好多好著名嘅大學，有4間大學啦。其實咧每年咧都有好多嘅學生其實都會去到利物浦讀書。咁啊，其實利物浦亦都成為即係好多外國留學生好受歡迎嘅城市之一啦。咁呢樣就係嗰個教育方面啦。咁其實如果大家其實係會去即係帶你個 family 或者你啲小朋友去咧，咁其實亦都唔需要擔心就話係咪一定要飛倫敦咧？即係讀書，
其實都有好多選擇啦。同埋另外個位就係即係都有講到安全啦、safety 啊，因為其實你可能大家移居一個地方，其實都會好關注到究竟嗰個區嘅治安好唔好咧？會唔會即係可能即係嗰啲政策啊等等啦？咁其實頭先都有講到咧，就係話其實可能咧係佢而家都係即係全個英國咧最安全嘅一個城市啦。係啊，咁其實講開生活啦，咁其實係講即係生活就係大家嗰個即係 living cost 啦，其實亦都係比倫敦差唔多平，即係差唔多30幾40%。咁其實咧即係生活指數其實講真，即係大家都知英鎊而家1:10啦。咁其實大家可能即係去到咁講真，即係你揾工，即係可能你工作啦，其實有好多都需要繼續工作。咁其實都可能都要一段時間。咁其實生活嗰個即係嗰個即係 daily living 其實大家都會考慮啦。咁其實個生活指數其實如果係即係平啲，咁當然係大家最好啦，平啲啦。咁同埋其實如果個當地其實嗰個發展個旅遊即係個 tourism 其實就係話，即係其實佢每年都有好多去旅遊啦。咁其實點解咁好明啫？我哋大家都會諗如果係 football 啊、Beatles 啊、museum 啊，咁其實大家都會去。所以其實點解因為咁喺即係好多即係無論生活啊方方面面咧，其實都會好多即係都係有好多嘅即係嗰個 highlight 可以俾大家去關注咯。即係唔單止淨係即係嗰個頭先講嘅幾個嘅旅遊景點啦，其實可能生活上面其實即係無論係教育，其實大家即係當然啦，因為你去旅遊同你住係兩回事嚟㗎。咁所以其實我哋都希望除咗旅遊呢個旅遊景點我就唔多提啦。咁其實我哋就同大家講下，即係大家會平日生活其實會關注到個問題，就頭先話即係嗰個生活指數啦，其實佢哋嗰個教育啦，係啦，嗰啲點啦，治安係啊。咁所以其實呢個都想即係同大家去講翻咯。咁其實大家即係嚟緊可能就關心就係生活指數之後就究竟個 property trend 係咩咧？咁我哋就問下 Andy 啦。So Andy, what are the current property market trends in UK? So especially in UK and Liverpool, because of people like normally they are considering when they're considering migration to UK, so one of the priority would be the property. So of course they find a place to live, right? Yeah. So what's the trend there?
So the major trend in the UK and Liverpool at the moment is the property market is very, very buoyant. And there's a couple of contributing factors to this. We've got continued very low interest rates, which is encouraging many people to buy into property. And there is a major shortage of good quality housing in the UK, with a never increasing demand from not just first time buyers, but home movers as well, looking for more space, and more so recently in investors, homegrown investors from the UK and international investors as well, looking to obtain the higher than normal average yields that Liverpool's offering in comparison to other UK cities. So very positive right now.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good news for us because
very good.
Because of course people may be less familiar with like the local properties, and so they have no idea. So how's the property price? Is it going up or going down? And would they like lose their money or something? But it looks that everything goes very well.
Yeah, very good for Liverpool at the moment. Yeah, obviously property prices a little bit are a lot cheaper than down south and in particularly London, but we have seen a big migration of people moving out of the major big cities to the smaller cities because there's a lot better value for money.
got that. 其實咧啱啱其實 Andy 同我哋講咗咧，其實就係即係而家都有個趨勢，其實就係好多人其實都會諗係我去由一個即係去其他唔同個城，可能佢其實佢嗰個 property price 咧，其實亦都係會比較即係平均比大城市係即係比倫敦係會低啲啦。
因為即係可能 lockdown 啦，咁其實好多即係公司啊，或者即係其實經濟等等嘅問題，大家都會係希望即係揾一個即係生活成本比較低啲嘅地方去即係移居啦，即係無論可能係 local 自己。所以都好多機會。
咁但係其實又即係雖則話而家 lockdown 啦，咁但係其實咧頭先 Andy 同我哋講，其實佢嗰個即係嗰個即係個 sales volume 啊，即係其實佢嗰個即係賣樓，其實可能因為大家都知，即係英國同香港即係而家近排大家都會考慮去英國啦。咁啊其實咧平均地咧，其實即係整體嗰個即係賣樓嗰個情況咧，其實都好有上升。咁我相信其實有一部分都係因為我哋香港即係香港人會移居過去啦，所以就令到起咗成個嘅嗰個樓市咯。咁其實大家其實就即係又唔需要話太擔心，因為其實大家可能都會諗而家可能 UK 即係又有 COVID-19 又 lockdown， 咁但係其實即係 in general， 因為始終呢件事都會過啊。咁所以其實大家即係佢嗰個即係整體嚟講，即係除咗可能即係過咗個疫情之後，其實嗰個樓市基本上都係會係去即係都會上升翻咯。So we just talk about the property trend in UK and Liverpool. So can you have any suggestions like is Liverpool a good place to invest and why? Why is good?
Yeah. So Liverpool's a great place to invest. Basically, Liverpool's been set up by the government as part of the Northern Powerhouse. And we're one of the major cities that the government has put into the Northern Powerhouse, along with Manchester, Leeds and Newcastle, so cities in the north of England. And basically what they're doing, it's for major economic growth in the north of the UK and trying to get the draw away from London in the south. Okay. This will be supported by major infrastructural development. Given additional powers to local governance. There's up to 10 to 15 billion investment over the next 10 years. We've got a population in Liverpool around 1.5 million, but we've got 6 million to draw on within an hour's drive. There's large economic growth expected in the city over the next 20 years. Growth of the city in the next step, so you got Albert Dock and Liverpool One, major shopping centre, and now with Stanley Dock, which is moving on to the North Docks area that we've seen in the video, which is all contributing to the economic growth, certainly for Liverpool and the Northwest. We've got key developments in the city all the time, lots of planning in early stages, planning wait for approval approaching 14 billion. Which will include 25,000 new homes, which is really needed in the UK and certainly for the Northwest, and will create over 30,000 new jobs, which all helps towards the rental market. That's why Liverpool's become hugely popular for property investors, not just within the UK, but internationally as well, with lots of regeneration and the growing jobs market providing huge rental demand. Liverpool boasts some of the highest performing rental yields in the UK. It's in the top 4 UK cities for long-term capital appreciation, 3.3% on average per annum. The past few years, Liverpool's dominated the top 10 rental yield markets, and parts of the city have been the highest yields in the country, up to 10% in 2019 on some of the properties. So very, very great, good figures in Liverpool in comparison to some other parts of the UK. Certainly, like in London, in some of the suburbs around London, yields are only up to maybe 1.95%. So very low in comparison to the rental returns in Liverpool. Home Track, a well-respected property company that monitors all the figures, confirmed that UK rents are up by 2.4% this year. 2.3 times the investment potential is in the northwest compared to the south and London. Basically, it's because tenants' priorities have changed. They're looking for more space when renting, so they're willing to pay a little bit more money, which benefits Stanley Dock greatly with the big size they have. Ourselves and Rightmove have seen a 40% increase in tenants wanting more space, so they're looking to move on. Tobacco Warehouse certainly satisfies that demand with apartments ranging from 1,000 to 2,500 square feet. So really good sizes for the family.
係 ，thank you Andy。我要同大家都可以講翻頭先 Andy 即係同我哋講啲乜嘢重點啦。咁啊，其實就係即係講真頭先我話，即係講我要問阿 Andy， 其實究竟嗰個係咪即係
一個好嘅地方去投資？
係啦，咁其實投資可能大家可能睇即係可能留意得多海外嘅房地產市場，甚至係香港，其實大家投資性咧，其實都係睇幾樣嘢嘅啫。一就係究竟政府有冇支持啦，咁啊之後咧就有冇嘅基建啦。咁啊，其實究竟佢嗰個回報率啦，係大家都係回報率同埋 return 啦。咁其實啱啱其實 Andy 好，即係佢就都好濃縮同我哋講咗幾個重點。首先就當地其實係有一個即係喺UK， 即係喺嗰個即係英國北邊啦，其實有一個好大嗰個 powerhouse 㗎。咁啊，其實佢係基本上係一個好大嘅基建啦。咁其實已經帶起咗成個嘅。即係成個嗰個經濟，因為其實基建就係代表佢又係有新嘅工作，可以即係創造咗就業啦。咁啊，另外咧，其實就係佢嗰個即係政府就支持呢樣嘢，咁所以亦都有個咁嘅基建啦。咁啊，另外就嗰個即係回報率啦。咁其實佢都話其實回報率其實都係喺英國嚟講都係數不數二啊。咁啊，所以其實咧，即係其實呢一樣嘢真係唔講唔知，原來。即係可能大家可能就咁去睇樓盤，其實嗰啲咁嘅，就呢啲即係比較細嘅位咧，其實我哋真係要問當地人先知咯。係啊。So we talk about the investment. So how about when normally people will take London to compare with Liverpool. So what do you think?
Liverpool as opposed to London. Well, if people are investing, they're looking for the best returns they can possibly get in comparison to the purchase price. So if you take London, for instance, their rents have fell like 0.6% over the year because available stock, because people are moving out to the suburbs rather than sitting in the city, because the city, very expensive living costs. So the stock has increased by 41%. So supply and demand having a major problem for the south. So London's average rent has fell by 3% in Q2. So their rental market has fallen into negative equity twice in the last 3 years. That's not a positive investment model if people are looking to buy into property. In comparison, the Northwest and particularly Liverpool, as we said about the figures before, in some areas up to 10% returns. Northwest is thriving, and that was put out by the Guardian newspaper. We've seen a substantial shift from investors moving their money away from the south, purchasing properties in Liverpool and surrounding areas of the northwest, all because of the higher basic returns and the potential for higher capital growth on the property.
係咯，咁可能頭先大家都有提過，就係話，即係因為可能倫敦啦，對比起其他城市生活成本啊都比較高啦，咁所以可能佢哋本身 local 自己都希望去揾其他嘅城市，可能低生活成本啲嘅，咁就去移居啦。咁所以其實可能咧近呢一年啦，咁可能咧喺倫敦嗰個租金咧都下跌咗啦，同埋即係可以供應嘅房屋咧項目啦，或者都係增加咗40幾個%啊。
係啊，咁其實大家亦都可以即係聽 Andy 咁講啦，就係其實即係大家都知道倫敦係貴啦，咁啊其實可能佢哋大家即係霎時間咁可能都大家都係即係睇餸食飯啦，咁可能大家都會考慮多少少 option， 就係會唔會有啲即係又係會平少少，但係佢個生活其實同倫敦又差唔多，其實佢帶俾大家嗰個無論係生活啊、教育啊，其實大家都同倫敦差唔多嘅。咁其實而家亦都 Andy 同我都分享咗咧，就有啲 trend 咧，其實就係由倫敦其實就會轉移佢哋嗰個 interest 咧，就去到 North West 啊，或者係 Northern of UK。咁其實亦都係話，其實佢哋都係會去唔同嘅地方去考慮佢哋其他嗰個城市咯。咁所以其實即係我哋都即係其實今日都同大家都話，其實我嚟緊都會同大家去介紹一個好獨特啦，一個好 signature 啦，好 unique 嘅 project 啦。咁其實佢就叫 Tobacco 即係Tobacco Warehouse 啊。佢其實究竟有幾 signature 幾 unique 咧？其實我哋咧嚟緊 Andy 同我哋嚟緊另外一位嘅嘉賓都會同我哋去詳細去講咯。咁啊，但係其實想講下就係，其實或者大家可以諗，其實點解你會介紹呢個 Tobacco Warehouse？ 究竟係咪即係究竟有啲乜嘢㗎？即係點解啲人會去買咧？咁其實我哋都問下 Andy 啦。其實 Andy，so the last question is like we just talk about during this live we will introduce a very unique and a signature projects in Liverpool to our Hong Kong audience. This is called Tobacco Warehouse, and we would like to would you like to share us why people would attracted to buyers to this signature building and signature projects? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Tobacco Warehouse, fantastic development right on the banks of the river. In Liverpool itself, everybody in Liverpool knows the building. It's one of the largest buildings on the horizon, being the biggest brick building in the world. There's been a noticeable migration over the last couple of years from the suburbs to the cities and the surrounding areas of the city, for all age groups as well, and particularly from downsizers moving from the larger family home, looking to go to apartment living because they don't have the big outside spaces to look after, but they need those good internal sizes. Typical buyers in Tobacco Dock to date, which has been fantastic, has been the majority of buyers have been owner-occupiers, so not for investment. So this is families, retired people moving into the building because of the community that it's going to create, which has been fantastic for that development, because if we've got a majority of people actually living there and it's not an investment, it creates a lot better community for everybody else. Okay. The reason that it's been so popular is, again, the sizes. Your average apartment being built in all major cities of the UK at the moment are probably 500 to 650 square feet. So it's all built for the investment market and all aimed to the rental market. Tobacco Warehouse, completely different opportunity, because they range from 1,000 to 2,500 square feet. So good internal space for all the family. So benefits for the family. So as I said before, major proportion of all the buyers are owner-occupiers, so great community being created in Tobacco Dock. And it's also, because of this, it creates a prime investment opportunity, certainly for renters, because the majority of them are going to be lived in and not for rental.
OK，thank you Andy。咁啊，啱啱其實都問Andy 啦。其實我哋咧，其實喺個即係節目嘅開始嗰陣時，我哋都同大家講，我哋今日會即係介紹一個好特色嘅建築啦。其實我哋即係本身我哋之前嘅直播或者可能我哋都有好多都係講其實新樓啊、樓花啊、未係啊，
或者即係可能地屋啦，就未試過就係有一個即係可能有
咁特別嘅歷史建築
係啦，歷史改建嘅項目啦。咁同埋其實即係其實香港人咧裝修嘅時候咧，其實都好中意工業風啊。咁所以其實今日 呢個項目咧就係有呢一個特色啦，咁其實都好適合就係即係任何年齡層嘅人去住啦。咁所以頭先都有講到就話除咗海外人士啦，佢哋 local 其實都有好多人就係移居去呢個城市啦。咁同埋就係唔同嘅年齡層啦。包括即係可能後生啲啊，或者去到移民啊，係啦，退休係啦。
同埋另外一個 Andy 都提出一個重點咧，其實就係咧因為可能而家即係都會即係發展商都會即係迎合呢個 rental market 啦。咁其實佢哋嗰個即係嗰個空間或者個面積咧，其實大概都係即係都會有個限制，係即係都唔會有個限制，即係有個範圍有個 range 喺度。咁都係大概500尺至700幾尺。咁呢個係純粹真係好 investment 啊，係好 rental 嘅嗰個產品咯，叫做或者係項目啦。咁但係其實呢一個咧，其實因為係改建啦，咁其實裏邊咧個空間咧，其實就係會比較大啲。咁其實呢個可能頭先聽 Andy 講，直咁去到上千尺或者1100尺以上。咁其實即係呢一個係就亦都係可以即係
適合唔同
即係家庭啊，係啊，即係其實可能即係大家都可能即係有冇聽過？即係可能大家都聽過 loft 啦。咁其實呢樣嘢其實就好似即係好似感覺佢好似一個小複式嘅感覺。即係其實咧，好似其實香港好少見啊呢樣嘢。
同埋通常即係香港地少啦，咁可能呢一個項目就係我覺得最吸引就係個樓底係好高，
係即係點解嗰個 loft 叫做 loft 咧？其實就因為嗰個咧，即係嗰個樓底即係高，即係非常之高，係即係我叫 double ceiling 或者 triple ceiling。咁其實可以你就係因為你咁高個樓底先可以做到一個 loft 出嚟咯，即係小，即係其實佢叫閣樓啦，但係其實我哋感覺上根本就係一個小複式咯。咁其實可能即係嗰個尤其是嗰個即係嗰個空間係好大啦，俾到大家其實一個煥然一新嘅感覺。咁其實我哋即係我哋嚟緊我哋都會同大家去即係介紹呢一個嘅項目啦。咁其實而家即係賣啲關子俾大家先。咁啊，所以其實即係今日嚟到我哋都即係好即係多謝 Andy 同我哋即係講分享咗咁多啦。咁其實我哋其實啱啱都有個嘅現場觀眾啦。So firstly, thank you Andy to share so more like information or more
about
like
investing in UK Liverpool
or living experience with us. But we just got the questions from a live audience, and he seems like he's quite interested to living in Liverpool, and he's asked about like how
about the job opportunity.
Yeah. So like what kind of job opportunity there is it good or not? Is it easy to find a job, or which sector or which industry is more easy to find job in Liverpool?
There's all manner of jobs in Liverpool. We've had a lot of government departments have been moved out of the south of England and been taking up place larger buildings around the cities. Tax offices and the immigration offices and things, passport offices, all huge employers within Liverpool. Also, Liverpool and the North Docks, particularly where Tobacco Warehouse is now being designated for the new cultural quarter of Liverpool. So we're trying to entice media type companies, stage companies, theatrical companies and things coming, which are already in Liverpool, but they're moving towards the Docklands where Tobacco Dock is situated, and we've got a lot of property there to house them for that. So there's lots of job opportunities in all sectors. A big sector is media, IT and technology.
Oh, okay, I see. 其實啱啱 Andy 同我哋講咧，其實就係因為其實頭先啱啱有現場觀眾咧，就係問究竟其實如果我想去住喺 Liverpool 嘅話，其實即係當然啦，咁有冇工作機會啊、揾工啊嗰啲？咁其實 Andy 都話其實而家即係好多嗰啲大嘅機構或者甚至係政府機構，其實佢哋都會去唔同嘅城市去即係 relocate 佢哋嗰個 office 啊，係啊辦公室啦。咁啊，其實個工作機會咧絕對係有㗎。咁同埋頭先我哋都提過 infrastructure 啦，我哋有 powerhouse 啦。咁啊，其實咧係會即係製造好多嗰啲即係opportunity， 咁其實好多另外佢如果啱啱即係
科技啦、tech 同埋 media 啦，
咁呢個就係頭先嗰幾個即係比較熱門嘅 sector，啱啱Andy 同我哋分享啦。咁希望 Andy 嘅解答可以即係解答到呢位即係觀眾嘅嗰個問題啦。
係啊，咁都好歡迎大家即係繼續，如果有問題都留言啦。因為其實我哋都係將嘉賓嘅 contact information 擺咗喺 comment box 咁大家可以喺 Facebook 上面留言之餘咧，如果有更加即係深入嘅資料係想詢問嘅話咧，其實都可以歡迎咧直接聯絡我哋嘅嘉賓㗎。
係。 Okay, so thank you, Andy, for sharing your experience with us and what's actually happening in Liverpool. And take a break and have
see you guys. See you in a bit.
see you in the other sections because Andy is going to have a brief us or explain more about like the investment market or how to invest the properties in Liverpool a bit more in more details. So see you later, Andy.
Okay, speak to you soon.
OK 係啦，咁啊其實咧我哋其實啱啱呢一個嘅即係呢一個部分，我哋就啱啱同大家即係講咗其實
大環境趨勢啦。
係啊，咁或者介紹多啲其實 Liverpool 究竟係即係利物浦呢個城市係點啦？因為其實即係我哋都即係大家即係其實可能對佢嘅印象就比較。即係都係可能係即係唔會話特別熟悉啦，唔會特別即係好似倫敦咁熟啦。咁我哋可能都係即係比較旅遊嘅景點會為主啦。咁所以其實都想同大家介紹多啲。咁其實啱啱我哋都講緊就係即係今日想同大家講嗰個利物浦即係Tobacco Warehouse 啦。咁啊其實呢個係一個嘅歷史建築啦。咁其實我哋講咗咁耐，其實我又講咗其實佢係一個signature啦，係一個好 unique 嘅 project 啦。其實講咗阿 Sandy 同我哋都講咗，其實就係佢可以即係比平時而家市面上見到嘅 project 啦，其實佢嗰個面積咧係大好多嘅，因為其實平均都係500至700幾尺，咁但係就而家呢一個基本上上千尺，咁啊但係其實佢個價錢都係非常之吸引嘅。咁其實我哋都講咗咁多啦，其實樣我哋就睇下樣啦。咁所以咧，我哋而家咧就同大家就播下第二條片咧，其實咧就係想同大家講下呢一個嘅周圍嘅環境 Stanley Dock 啦，同埋一個 Tobacco Warehouse 嗰個背景。咁啊，大家請細心欣賞啦。係啦。咁希望同大家都可以即係大家即係睇下即係究竟其實佢嗰個歷史建築係咩樣啦，同埋係周圍係啲乜嘢嘅，係啦，我哋嘅去片係啦。
The historic docklands extend north of the city centre into an area known as the 10 Streets, a multi-billion regeneration area where former warehouses are being converted into residences and businesses in the artistic, creative and digital fields. At the heart of these historic docks sit 3 architecturally and historically important buildings, one of which is the Tobacco Warehouse, the world's largest brick warehouse and Liverpool's largest landmark. In 1901, Liverpool had a dream to build the biggest warehouse the world had ever seen, a building fit for a thriving city at the heart of global trade. Tobacco Warehouse was born, a monument to the dreams of the hard-working people of Liverpool. But times move on, dreams fade, and fortunes change. The Tobacco Warehouse fell into disuse and disrepair. But now it is time to dream big again, to dream of an iconic building made great once more, of a thriving community, a new place to live, work and play. Tobacco Warehouse is being converted into 550 exceptional residential waterfront apartments, the largest heritage conversion in the UK's history. With generous proportions, distinctive industrial features and impeccable modern design, this landmark building is being transformed into unique warehouse homes with spectacular views over Liverpool's historic waterfront. This is a truly original building. Industrial heritage features including exposed brickwork, structural columns and concrete ceiling beams are combined with impeccable modern design that propel this iconic building into the 21st century, while preserving its original architectural charm. Already developed just across the dock is the outstanding Titanic Hotel and Rum Warehouse, winner of multiple awards for heritage, regeneration and operations. Tobacco Warehouse is helping to reinvigorate this area further, acting as a catalyst for the regeneration of the area. And the new Everton football stadium is planned to be built just across the street in the same architectural style as Tobacco Warehouse. Tobacco Warehouse is within walking distance of Liverpool's rich culture of art and music. The stroll from Tobacco Warehouse to the city centre will take you along the stunning waterfront, past the Royal Liver Building, Tate Liverpool and Royal Albert Dock. From art galleries to museums, fine dining to iconic music venues, the very best of Liverpool is on your doorstep. Just a mile from the Three Graces, Liverpool city centre and the Pall Mall office district, Tobacco Warehouse is perfectly located to escape the hustle and bustle of city life without spending hours commuting.
係啦，啱啱就睇過咧打一陣咧，嘉賓會同我哋 share 個 Tobacco Warehouse 嘅一個短片啦。咁頭先都見到咧，就係個室內空間真係好嗰個
樓底係比較即係樓底真係好高啦，所以點解就係會係一個 loft 啦。其實一個即係，所以即係佢哋叫閣樓，但係其實我哋覺得真係即係喺香港，即係我自己身為一個香港人嚟講，我覺得係一個服飾啦。係啦係啦，咁啊其實咧嚟緊我哋都即係其實啱啱睇個片啦，大家咁其實都想同大家將佢即係重點去再即係深入去介紹下，咁所以其實我哋嚟緊咧都會請嚟我哋另外一位嘅 speaker 啦，咁其實佢係 Patrick， 咁啊 Patrick 咧其實就係即係佢呢個發展商方面啦，咁其實亦都可以同我哋去講多啲其實呢一個嘅即係呢一個嘅 Tobacco Warehouse 個項目啦，咁其實亦都可以介紹下其實呢一個嘅即係公司其實佢嗰個發展商其實佢嗰個歷史同埋佢嗰個之前嘅 track record， 其實我哋事不宜遲，我哋介紹 Patrick 出嚟。OK， 係啦。Hi Patrick， Hi Patrick.
Hi.
Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Good day. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you, Patrick. We just play a video like after Andy's presentation, so to share us the experience, and we talk about we're going to introduce Tobacco Warehouse to Hong Kong audience. And then we play the video to the audience to show that okay, it's really spacious areas, and it's a really unique. And it's a signature
surrounding
project. Yeah, surrounding area actually is quite it's going to have a big development there. It's a regeneration of the dock areas. Yeah. So can you introduce yourself to our Hong Kong audience? Introduce a bit more and to introduce about the companies and the track records is not only the developing the Tobacco Warehouse and actually it's also other recognized buildings and projects you guys have been working for. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick.
Not at all. No, thank you for having us. My name is Patrick Power. I'm a director of Stanley Dock Properties Limited, which is the developer at Stanley Dock, obviously including Tobacco Warehouse in Liverpool. I'm also director of the main board, Harcourt Developments. We've done real estate transactions in about 11 countries. We employ approximately about 1,500 people, and we're involved in most use classes of real estate, including residential for sale, for rent or retirement, hotel, leisure and tourism, office, industrial, and even in the healthcare sector. Over the last number of decades, our organisation has overseen the construction of approximately 10 million square feet, and we've won multiple awards for historic restoration, placemaking, business to arts, and our hotel and tourism operations have won many international awards. Some of our developments include Park West Dublin. It's a 230-acre business park which incorporates residential, retail and a hotel. And to date, we've constructed over 4 million square feet. And we have another 4 million square feet master planned in that particular development. Titanic Water in Belfast. That's a roughly, again, 185 acres in Belfast City. And we've done offices, residential, leisure. We've even done film studios, which included the production for the Game of Thrones. And probably the most noteworthy one is we developed and constructed and operate the Titanic Belfast. Titanic Belfast is a commemorative project for the centenary of the Titanic ship. Obviously, the Titanic ship was designed, constructed and set sail from Belfast, from the Harland and Wolff shipyard. We also have redesigned the drawing offices, which are part of a hotel known as Titanic Hotel in Belfast today. And actually, Titanic Belfast is the second most visited paid attraction in Ireland now, second, of course, to Guinness's. We've other developments in the Caribbean, namely, we'll say, for an example, the five-star hotel in Carlisle Bay in Antigua. We're currently developing just north of Seattle in conjunction with the Port of Bellingham in the town of Bellingham. North Seattle, as I say, just south of Vancouver. So that's a little bit of background for ourselves. And really, what I wanted to do, and you've asked me, is to talk about the development. And first of all, I want to put Stanley Dock in the context of its surrounding areas. And to do that, I suppose Andy very well put what Liverpool is about and its attractions. But just to reiterate some of the points there. Effectively, Andy was outlined that the metropolitan area in Liverpool has roughly about 2.25 million people, but has within a 1 hour drive caters for about 6 million people. It is the UK's fifth largest city, and more importantly, is part of the Northern Powerhouse region. The Northern Powerhouse region is an amalgamation of that area of North England, which is a huge investment has gone into and is going into. In Liverpool alone, there's been about 10 to 15 billion invested in the region over the last 10 to 15 years. And as Andy correctly outlined, over 10 billion is planned for the next 10 to 15 years in Liverpool itself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having been kept to our Hong Kong audience. Yeah, 係，其實啱啱其實咧就Patrick 咧其實就同我哋即係比較即係介紹咗公司啦，同埋其實佢嗰個即係呢一個項目周圍叫 Stanley Dock 嘅呢個周圍嘅環。即係嗰個地點啦。咁啊，首先其實咧即係其實呢個發展商係Harcourt Developments 啦。咁啊，其實佢即係其實佢喺世界各地其實都有佢發展嗰個項目，其實亦都係比較知名嘅。咁我即係其實佢唔單止係即係住啦。咁其實你 residential 啊，咁你即係 retail 啊、commercial 啊、hotel， 其實佢全部都有做，即係其實都好有經驗啦。
工業啊，辦公室啊。
係啊，咁所以其實咧，即係其實你即係其實佢即係都咁有經驗，其實喺唔同嘅範疇嘅項目都有佢嗰個即係嗰個即係嗰個即係唔同嘅。即係點講咧？即係唔同用處嗰個項目，佢哋都有涉獵啦。咁所以其實咧，即係至於今次呢一個嘅改建啦，咁其實就係其實佢哋亦都係有好多花心力落去。咁啊，其實就好似之前即係可能大家都聽過 Titanic 啦。咁啊，其實佢哋咧，其實其中一個好著名，佢哋其中參與過個項目咧，就係Titanic Belfast 啊。咁啊，其實咧，其實佢哋呢個其實就係之前喺嗰個海港啊。嗰海港咧，其實佢哋做咗個 Titanic 嗰個類似，即係好似博物館咁。咁其實佢哋都有參與呢一個嘅改建啦。咁其實希望都可以即係Titanic 大家都有睇過呢套電影啦。咁啊，其實佢哋就喺嗰度就即係都有一個參與呢個咁嘅改建嗰個項目。都係一個即係大家都即係比較即係著名多啦。咁其實佢哋呢一個嘅即係發展商咧，其實佢頭先講咗，其實好多地方都有項目啦，即係好似UK 啊。即係英國當然有啦，係啊，美國啊、加勒比海啊、巴拿馬其實都會有咯。咁其實啱啱之後阿 Patrick 都同我哋講，其實究竟佢呢個即係項目其實喺邊啦？咁啊，其實就係喺個 North Docks 嗰度啦。咁啊，其實佢係一個即係 10 Street， 其實係一個好大嘅，即係好大嗰個即係再點講咧？即係叫做重建嗰個計劃，即係我哋叫重建，其實應該係話叫做活化成個區咯，係啊。咁所以其實嚟緊我見到即係 Patrick 都有個 slide 其實 show 俾我哋睇，其實想介紹多少少Liverpool 咯。咁我將時間交翻俾 Patrick。So that I know I see your slides and it looks like you're going to like to share us more about Liverpool, right?
Yeah, I would just like to illustrate Stanley Dock, its surrounding area, and then we'll talk as we go along to actually show its surroundings, show the buildings themselves, both externally and the interiors. So I suppose really this illustration is to show in the foreground Stanley Dock. And Stanley Dock is made up of the first building, which we've redeveloped and is trading, the Titanic Hotel and the Rum Warehouse. The tobacco warehouse, which is the building in question that we're going to discuss, and then the South Warehouse is hidden somewhere behind the Mammoth Tobacco Warehouse, which is even bigger than the Titanic Hotel, but it's hidden behind there. And then if you look in the background, your 1 mile, as Andy referred to earlier, from the central business district, the Pall Mall area. And if the idea between Stanley Dock and the city centre of Liverpool, that we will be regenerating the North Liverpool area, the 10 streets, which is the creative district that was being referred to, and Liverpool Waters, which I'll touch on in a moment. And the next slide actually shows, if you see Tobacco Warehouse then in the background, that's where you are in proximity to Liverpool's city centre, and the Three Graces, which are often referred to, 3 iconic buildings right there in the foreground next to the water. The centre one being the Cunard building, the old headquarters for the Cunard liner. That's actually where the local government, Liverpool City Council, actually govern from. So there, that really illustrates where you are in relation to the city, the central business district, and straight across from the Three Graces then is the shopping district in its own right, which has been anchored by Liverpool One, a £1 billion investment done over the last decade. So that's where it is. I want to flick through to illustrate the likes of the 10 streets. There's a lot of warehousing within that, again, which will be primarily developed for employment-led digital media and creative industries. There is 6 million square feet planned for that 125-acre area. Parallel to that then is the Liverpool Waters, which is adjacent to Stanley Dock, and it's a fantastic regeneration project, which again, if you look at Stanley Dock in the background from the Mersey, you can see what is planned for that area. So huge amount of regeneration between the 10 streets development and Liverpool Waters to take place in the area, for which, as you can see there, Stanley Dock and the infamous Tobacco Warehouse is an anchor too. Adjacent to Stanley Dock is the proposed, you see on the left there, is the proposed Everton football stadium. Now, the Everton football stadium is one of Liverpool's based Premiership football teams, and adjacent to Stanley Dock, Tobacco Warehouse, you can see there is where the proposed Everton new stadium is to go. Now, it replicates the Tobacco Warehouse, which is a testament to the iconic appearance of the Tobacco Warehouse. I suppose in an English phrase, mockery is the best form of flattery. So it's actually, if you actually look closely, the red brick facade and that type of finish is proposed to replicate the Tobacco Warehouse and be an iconic building in its own right. And irrespective whether you support Liverpool in red or Everton in blue, this illustration is the one that Everton has produced for its football stadium, which will be an over 50-something thousand seater stadium, again, nearby and part of the regeneration that's going on in the Stanley Dock area. And just back down further from Stanley Dock on the water, the new cruise ship terminal is also proposed, just again, less than a mile away from our development.
係明白 ，thank you Patrick。係，其實啱 Patrick 咧就睇佢個 slide 即係幾圖咧，其實就同我哋即係都介紹咗呢一個地區啦。其實有幾個重點，咁我都即係精簡地同大家可以再即係介紹多少少啦。咁首先其實咧即係啱呢一個 Tobacco Warehouse 咧，其實係一個即係暫時可以講係世界上最大嘅磚嘅倉庫前身係一個磚嘅倉庫啦。咁其實因為實在太即係佢嗰個歷史價值好高啊，咁所以其實我諗大家其實喺香港都有見過啲歷史建築，其實佢係即係佢要維持翻佢嗰個即係嗰個外貌啦。咁其實裏邊就係會改建，但係其實外貌係唔會變嘅。咁其實佢呢一個地區咧就係一個 Stanley Dock。其實頭先Patrick 其實佢個 slide 咧其實都有 show 俾我哋睇，其實就係即係以前係一個嘅海港啦，即係個即係即係有啲似係碼頭啊、避風港啊，類似係依樣嘢。咁其實咧當然啦，其實你要改建依樣嘢咧，其實首先嗰個即係原因就即係除咗要保留歷史價值啦，咁其實佢冇可能淨係搞即係淨係你搞呢棟嘢，但係側邊你唔搞㗎。咁所以其實佢頭先都講過，就係一個成個嘅活化區啊。咁成個活化區咧，其實亦都喺個圖佢都見到，其實佢同嘅 CBD 即係利物浦嘅 CBD 咧係非常之近。 咁啊其實非常之其實都係大概可能你揸車咧都係幾分鐘嘅車程都已經去到 CBD。咁其實另外一個比較特色嘅咧，其實頭先都提過啦，其實一個咁 iconic 嘅 building 咧，其實佢係一個磚嘅。咁啊其實咧佢成個活化咗之後咧，其實佢喺側邊咧其實有嗰啲會嗰啲 building 咧，其實都會同一個好似喺個 same style 都係一啲磚嘅形式，當然梗係唔係磚砌翻出嚟啦。咁啊
其中佢講話即係一個全新嘅足球場啦，咁即係可能佢個
stadium 啊，係啦，側邊嗰啲 building
係有一個即係好同我哋 Typical Warehouse 好相似，就係紅磚砌成嘅一個外觀啦。
係啊。
咁另外就係即係而家依一個圖，大家都可以睇到一個全新嘅郵輪碼頭啦。咁另外頭先Andy 都有提到啦，即係可能好多 tech 啊、digital 啊、media 嘅公司咧，都會因為亦都係好近 CBD 啦，咁所以其實成個區或者成個計劃都係提供到好多即係全新嘅就業機會啦。係
啊，咁同埋因為都講係一個 regeneration 啊，或者係一個即係重新活化區。咁啊，其實活化區咧，其實基本上佢唔會淨得住㗎。咁啊，其實基本上咧係一個即係成為一個文化區啊，或者係小社區。其實除咗住之外，其實佢亦都有其他嘅商業活動啦、文化活動啦，咁所以其實你會見到有 stadium 啊，或者有其他嘅唔同嘅即係 theatre 啊，或者可能係即係可能新嘅即係初創公司啊，係啦，即係 art space 啦。咁所以其實點解亦都配合翻頭先即係講就話，其實佢嗰個就業機會其實亦都係有新嘅工種咧，其實係會喺利物浦度落戶。咁其實就即係希望，即係講真，呢一個其實係一個好大嘅概念，咁喺未來嗰10幾20年，其實亦都係會帶到一個全新嘅面貌，一個 Liverpool， 即係利物浦俾大家咯，係啊。咁所以其實即係呢一個係啊，即係啱啱頭先見到而家幾張圖，其實都係一個即係未來其實佢哋一個發展嗰個藍圖啦。其實將來會係點啦？其實都希望可以俾到大家即係多一啲嘅即係概念啦。其實將來會係點？咁呢個其實就係佢嗰個，其實我想講就係佢嗰個潛力咯。即係其實你唔單即係雖則話潛力可能係即係投資啦。咁其實除咗投資之外，其實佢都係例如話你住，咁其實我住，咁我都希望嗰個區或者嗰個社區其實係一個好嘅即係好嘅發展啊，或者係周圍個配套係好方便啊、齊全啊。咁其實因為其實呢一個即係 Typical Warehouse 除咗佢好近 CBD 之外咧，其實佢係到其他學校，即係可能大家都會關心，其實會對佢其他附近嘅大學啊，其實都係好近嘅，即係車程其實都係可能係生活圈啊，係生活圈都係10零20分鐘嘅喎。就算你話我要去聖 Leonard Airport 嘅話，即係唔係聖 Leonard，即係 John Lennon 嘅 Airport 嘅話，其實都係大概30分鐘嘅車程。咁啊，其實都係即係一個都係近咯，即係唔好諗住我係一個即係一個碼頭咁又點。都唔係，都係一個好方便咯。咁所以其實即係大家都可以去關注下一個項目。咁其實我哋就將時間交翻俾即係交翻俾 Patrick 啦，係啦。OK，Patrick，we just recap your important points to our Hong Kong audience and further explain more the location advantages of Tobacco Warehouse, such as like near to CBD, near to all those like major university educations and all
new jobs opportunity.
Yeah, and also like just a 30-minute drive to John Lennon's Airport. It's a really convenient location. It's not only the dock, and it's a kind of like a big development from the government. And we can see that there's in the future the 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years
and
that
the
would be
potential of the whole community.
And when we show a new face to Liverpool to the people in Liverpool. Yeah. So
over to you.
Yeah, over to you. And cause we just understand more about the surrounding areas, and we just talk about this the largest brick warehouse in the world, and now it's regenerated into the whole new another style of living, and bring the new living experience to the people living there. And we believe, and we are loved to see what's actually look the Stanley Dock and the Tobacco Warehouse. What's the real look like? Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Yeah.
Not at all. No, thank you. No, well done. No, just really to focus on the development itself, Stanley Dock, and I'm just going to take you through like Stanley Dock is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As mentioned earlier, it's made up of the Titanic Hotel and Rum Warehouse, the Tobacco Warehouse, and then the southern warehouse, and has over about 2 million square feet of red brick warehousing, and that's the development of Stanley Dock alone. And the first, like, if just to put it into context and the iconic nature of it, that's about on the main road. It is the main road out and into North Liverpool, and you pass that. Most people pass it every day, and it is an imposing building. And that's from the other side. And the first building, as I referred to, was the Northern Warehouse, which was converted to the Titanic Hotel and Rum Warehouse. And I just really want to walk you through what actually has taken place, and then we go on to what is currently on site with the Tobacco Warehouse. And like the first development here, the Titanic Hotel and Rum Warehouse, while it was developed and constructed by ourselves, we also operated it. And it's won many awards. It's won awards for historic regeneration, interior design awards, and as an operation has won many awards. I'm just going to give you a quick walk through the hotel just to show you, like that's the Rum Warehouse on the right, and to talk you through to show you the likes of the rooms themselves. Similar to the Tobacco Warehouse, it's the room size that differentiates this hotel from others. The average room size is about 550 square feet. And what we've actually utilized is the original features, like the open cast iron beams, like the vaulted ceilings in the bedrooms. And we've also done, that's like a typical bedroom, which again, as I say, differentiates. It's more than twice the normal hotel bedroom size in many, many cities. Like you see, that's the restaurant, again, the open cast iron beams, pillars, the vaulted ceilings. That's done throughout the entire ground floor, be it the restaurant or be it the reception area or the bar area, where, as you're looking at there now. What's a very novel one is the basement. The basement area has the original vaulted ceilings, which create an elegant environment for where they have the relaxing spa and leisure area. And that is actually original. That's there since 1845, and of course it's very popular. But that's bringing the historic building itself back into economic use, and is very popular. And that's again just showing the historic features being maintained. That's a view from the hotel, looking across the dock to Tobacco Warehouse. And just to finish on that particular building, the Rum Warehouse is, as the name suggests, was a warehouse for rum. What we've made it is an area for extensive conference banqueting space, for meeting space, and it's hosted many ceremonies. It's even had victory parties, for example, some of Liverpool Football Club's success in Europe. And the hotel itself is the hotel of choice for all the travelling Premiership football teams that come to play in the city, be they playing Liverpool or Everton. One of the features in the banqueting conference area is this token replica of the Titanic staircase in the reception area of the Rum Warehouse. It's a very popular backdrop for photo opportunities.
Yeah. It's really stunning images there.
Yeah, well, just I suppose that pretty much just shows you what, if you just flick back through them, it shows what has been created. That in relation to its appearance was the worst condition of the three warehouses. So it goes to show what actually has been created. And as I say, it's won many accolades for not alone its construction or its regeneration, but also now since in its operation. And then what I've actually shown here is an image which shows the other side of the Tobacco Warehouse to show the Southern Warehouse, which is identical of a building to the Northern Warehouse, which is the Titanic Hotel, and just shows how mammoth in size the Tobacco Warehouse is when you put the two of them alongside each other. That's the Southern Warehouse. And then in what is the ground floor of the Tobacco Warehouse, that's what you're going to be looking across in the lobby area back towards the hotel.
Yeah, it's we can see that it's a kind of like mixture of the old times, especially it's really amazing the basement image, like it's a like
spa.
It's just like a spa. It's not only a swimming pool, and it's a really looks great. And I think after those images is maybe not enough for us, or maybe not enough for our audience, and we would like to show a video and a video to our audience, like okay, what's actually the stock, the standing stock and the tobacco house inside, what's look like inside. So let's go to the third part of video. Yeah.
Residents get the best of both worlds, waking up to calming waterfront views before taking a quick stroll into the city for work. The dual aspect apartments are spread over 2 floors with dramatic double-height living rooms, providing a sense of volume and light rarely seen in the city. The floor areas range from 85 to 250 square meters, which are twice the size of standard apartments in Liverpool. In addition, the ground floor of the building contains on-site commercial space, which will include offices, retail, food and beverage offerings. Upper mezzanine levels look out over the inner courtyards and the tranquil historic docks. Each apartment comes with a fully fitted kitchen, kitted out with European manufactured appliances. Standard amenities include touch control induction hobs, integrated oven, dishwasher, fridge freezer and washing drying machine. Under cabinet lighting, generous preparation areas, sophisticated Italian cabinetry and durable timber effect floor tiles make hosting your friends a pleasure. Fully fitted bathrooms are tiled with geometric ceramics. Creating a sense of community is part of what makes Tobacco Warehouse so special. The private residence lounge with soaring ceilings and beautiful brickwork is an expansive space to enjoy a tea or coffee, or simply to unwind and relax with friends. Tobacco Warehouse sets a new standard for residential amenities in Liverpool. Phase 1 of the project will see the western end of the warehouse transformed into 192 modern apartments, ranging from 1-bedroom units to 3-bedroom corner units, and stunning penthouses. The first units are due for completion in early 2021, so we encourage potential purchasers to act swiftly to avoid disappointment.
係啦，我哋啱啱咧其實就睇咗另一條 video 啦，咁其實就係講即係 Tobacco Warehouse 咧佢哋 interior，其實究竟幾時完成啦？咁其實就係出年就會係啦，
第一期就2021年啦，
係啦就會完成啦。其實咧即係透過呢個見到裏邊其實佢即係雖則外表其實係一個歷史建築，但係其實佢裏邊其實一啲都唔含糊嘅。其實佢哋裏邊個改裝咧其實都係用啲好靚嘅物料去會改裝咯。咁其實究竟裏邊有啲乜嘢嘅比較即係 facilities 啊？或者係咩咧？咁我就留翻問下 Patrick 啦。So Patrick, after we played the third part of video, like showing the interior and the inner look of the Tobacco Warehouse, so any like special features or special facilities like heating system, all those stuff, can maybe introduce more to our audience?
Yes, I suppose just to reiterate and maybe dwell a little bit on what the video has illustrated there, the Tobacco Warehouse itself. Yes, it's deemed to be the world's largest brick warehouse in the world, muted to have 26 million bricks. Now, I can't confess to having counted them, but that's an accolade that's well spoken about. The Tobacco Warehouse is one of the largest heritage conversions ever done in the UK, I suppose with its distinctive industrial features and then matching it with impeccable modern design. It's to make this landmark building and transform it into the exceptional warehouse homes that I'm going to talk you through in brief. The size of the building, again, just to put it in context, if the building was laid out on a flat, it would extend to over 32 acres. That's the size of the entire building that we're speaking about. But if you actually walk through the building, similar to the video, but just to take it, like the double height entrance in the lobby area is just to illustrate the aspect of the generous, enormous proportions of the actual development itself. And that's really when you walk through the front lobby door, you're greeted again with you're experiencing grandeur from the front door in. Your double-heighted space, very well fitted out in terms of its interior design. You've a concierge desk which will be there. It will be manned and personnel on it 24 hours to give people peace of mind and also to deal with their day-to-day queries, etc. The lobby is pretty much, I suppose you can say it's an area to unwind, or you could say it's an area equally. It's set up there for a casual worker. There's ample Wi-Fi. There is many power sockets, all there for you to pretty much relax in a kind of a semi-co-working type environment, but it is a private area for the residences. And at the far side of that is actually a coffee dock. Now, the coffee dock for us will be set out as an airport lounge with refreshments readily to hand at all times. So again, that will be a unique feature for the residences.
係咁，其實啱啱咧 Andy 同我哋都即係講咗好多，其實即係再重新，即係再重點就係講下即係呢一個嘅即係裏邊個項目其實即係一個好大嘅即係改建，即係從一個即係歷史建築文物咧一個好大嘅磚嘅即係磚嘅貨倉改建而成啦。咁其實大家亦都即係覺得其實我覺得其實就都唔似即係唔係話即係咁話裏邊住得咁簡單，例如話會唔會好舊啊？亦都唔會嘅。其實見到而家全部都咁靚，我覺得其實一個係 art piece 咯。即係其實你唔單止其實係即係去享受緊呢一個感受緊呢一個歷史建築，其實你根本係一個藝術品啦喺裏邊。其實你見到其實佢因為佢個 high ceiling 啦，咁其實你見到其實佢嗰個空間感係非常之十足嘅。咁同埋其實裏邊咧都係因為你都要襯得起嗰個歷史建築，所以其實見到裏邊而家即係依啲嘅裝修啊，其實佢嗰個設計咧，其實唔可以叫裝修，基本上係一個重新去設計翻裏邊一個即係富好非常有時代感啦，但係亦都不失一個古典嘅即係嗰個感覺俾你咯。咁其實同埋
個大堂就好大啦，所以頭先都話即係提供好多空間啊，或者即係好多電源嘅地方啦，咁其實即係除咗大家可以留喺屋企之外，其實呢個公共空間都好歡迎大家去使用。咁
其實啱啱頭先 Patrick 都有講，其實首先我哋而家睇緊呢一個嘅 coffee dock 啦，其實根本就係一個即係 airport lounge 啦，即係其實佢做到係一個其實係一個即係希望除咗即係你休閒嘅生活，即係你休閒嘅時間，其實落嚟飲下咖啡啊，其實就好感受自己好似係一個高級嘅機場貴賓室裏邊咯，即係其實即係其實你我坐喺度飲下杯咖啡，咁即係睇下隔離嘅先，係啦，即係其實感覺係即係完全係另一個嘅嗰個生活嗰個享受咯，係啊 ，Yeah, Patrick, we just talk about it. Actually, it's not only like living in a unique or unique project. We are living in an art piece. It's really stunning. You see, because kind of like combining the heritage plus the contemporary art piece is a really like extraordinary, exceptional living experience. Yeah, for people who live in there.
Well, that's correct. Yeah, well, that is the essence of it, is the mixture of the historic and architecture aspect, and where that meets the modern interior design and facilities.
Exactly.
But so I'll take you through the units themselves, and you use the phrase there, unique. These are unique because this building is not replicated anywhere else in the world. So the use of the phrase unique is pertinent in this situation. I'm showing this for people that may not be used to reading plans or cross sections, but I want to actually take you through the unit, because they actually are all in the living areas. All the units are double heighted in layout. And I don't know if my cursor shows here, but actually we have a unique situation where each corridor here facilitates 3 floors. So if that's on level, we say 2, you obviously go downstairs in the green unit, and you go upstairs in the blue unit. So level 2 caters for levels 1 2, and 3, and so forth. Level 5, level 8, and 11, and level 11. So that's just on a cross section to explain it, and maybe for easier illustrated by showing the actual units themselves, because I suppose what we're doing again with the units themselves is continuing with the theme of generous proportions. The unit sizes are, as referred to earlier, from 900 square feet to up to 2,700 square feet. But the average is around, the average unit, and I mean average, is about 1,350 square feet. So with the living area double heighted, it gives almost that increased proportionality of it. But again, you have the exposed beams and the brickwork, bringing back some of which I'll touch on as we go through the unit, the modern internal design with the historical architecture, like the staircases, the double heighted NS, the balcony there, all done with a throwback to the historic type architecture. And I'll just flick through a few of these. They were shown on the video, and also they can be got by people on the website, tobaccowarehouse.co.uk, so you can dwell on them in your own time. But just to show again the generous proportions, double height, exposed brickwork, and the exposed beams, which actually what helps to create it. And that view out that window there, as you can see, is across at the Titanic Hotel. So you haven't far to go to that leisure area that you were referring to not so long ago. Again, that's just a few illustrations in slow motion, just to show you what the appearance is internally. And they're actually units that are actually complete today.
Yep, thank
Again,
you.
back to re-illustrate to the audience that effectively, if you take this area here being level 2, so one person goes into the unit and is double height here and goes upstairs with the bedrooms overhead, and then the other person goes across and actually has a double height living here again with the bedrooms underneath. So that's actually just to add confusion, it is a duplex, but it actually is based on a French architect, Corbusier type architecture. But in simple modern day terms, they're two-story duplex units.
Thank you Patrick。其實啱其實咧，其實依家見到呢幅圖啦，其實亦都係即係除咗我哋其實即係由開始到而家，其實我哋都話呢個 project 係好特別啦，好獨特啦。咁啊，其實獨特化其實唔單止係佢嘅外形啦，佢嘅歷史背景啦，甚至係佢嗰個裏邊嗰個室內都係一個非常之特色。咁其實頭先 Patrick 其實同我哋一個嘅即係一個圖咧，其實一個卡拉好似 puzzle 咁，其實卡拉咁嘅位。咁啊，其實咧，其實就都好似俾你揀，就係其實首先你可以係啦，你想你翻屋企嗰時究竟係落去啊，定係上去啦？咁呢個亦都係即係大家可以選擇咯。即係另外其實你嗰個室內個裝修其實雖不話工業風啦，咁啊，但係其實你見到而家張相，其實佢都係非常之摩登嘅。其實佢都係即係好現代化啦。咁當然啦，其實保留翻佢嗰個歷史建築就係見到啲柱位。咁啊，其實呢一樣嘢其實咧就會係即係帶俾咗嗰個好有歷史嗰種感覺，同埋其實帶種另一種嘅唔同嘅體驗啦。因為其實可能大家即係住，就算可能住 house 啦，或者可能住 apartment 啦，其實呢啲咧都係好難會有個機會咯。同埋見到即係嗰個樓底咁高咧，其實真係感覺其實佢樓底咁高，其實嗰除咗空間感十足，其實佢面積都係唔細嘅。咁其實佢係可能頭先見到即係見到佢嗰個即係例子就係可能兩房已經係差唔多1,300尺或以上，其實就算最大可能係去到2,700都會有。咁其實呢個就視乎即係大家個需求啦。其實即係當然啦，走上走落其實就係你可以去揀啦。咁其實我哋想帶俾大家就係即係另外一種選擇，就係如果我要住喺呢個 loft 或者我住喺呢個，其實又係另一種即係唔同咯。
見到片段都有即係佢哋唔同嘅房型啦，即係可能瞓one bedroom， 跟住去到 penthouse， 佢哋都有即係唔同嘅選擇。跟住另外頭先覺得好特別嘅就係佢，因為呢一個項目咧都有一個通道啦，可以connect 去到個 Titanic 嘅 hotel 啦，咁頭先都見到其中一張相，即係個設計好似以前咧，可能即係啲人上船咧會有一個即係橋或者通道咁樣搭上去。咁頭先嗰個即係效果圖都好相似，係啊，而家見到有個
Patrick 其實係識聽廣東話嘅。We just actually you understand Cantonese and you understand what we are talking about.
About the Titanic Hotel.
Yeah. So anything you want to add in before we move to the next section? So we talk about like investment something.
I'll finish off very quickly just to show two aspects really, just to reiterate like we're talking about the modern kitchens with built-in appliances, slimline, and I'll just show you the illustrations of those, which is very, very straightforward. Again, just illustrating it. And then in relation to the bathrooms and the en-suites, they're very contemporary fitted out with a fully tiled in those two images there. And pretty much the bedrooms we refer to with the concrete beams and the exposed brickwork, again, which is back to the historic aspect of it. And I just wanted to show you those. Again, all available on the tobaccowarehouse.co.uk. And then really to the west, you're facing the Mersey, to the south, you're facing towards the city, which again illustrating the proximity, which is really much a stroll. And then to the north, you're facing the Titanic Hotel and Rome Warehouse and all the facilities that go with it. So I think really that's pretty much just taking you around the surroundings, the North Docks, what's happening with Stanley Dock in its own right, and then I suppose the building of the moment being the tobacco warehouse and what we're creating there with the generous proportions, bringing the historic architecture with modern interiors and the facilities to go with it.
係，thank you Patrick。係，其實我哋啱啱係我哋其實係唔緊要。其實啱啱咧，其實我哋都同大家即係阿 Patrick 都同我哋即係做一個總結，就係話即係如果想即係其實裏邊可以俾到大家唔同嘅感受之外咧，其實大家想睇多啲，因為我哋大家都係即係我哋都係即係即係比如相啦，或者可能係其他即係片段，希望可以盡量俾大家一個即係想了解多少少 Tobacco Warehouse 啦。咁啊，另外就係如果大家想再知多少少詳情嘅話咧，其實我哋其實就係Patrick 都同我哋講係，我哋可以去到Tobacco Warehouse.co.uk 去了解多啲嘅。咁其實呢一個 website 咧，其實呢個網址咧，我哋都擺咗喺個 comment box 嗰度。咁所以其實如果大家有興趣咧，亦都可以去瀏覽翻呢個網頁咯。Yeah, thank you Patrick, and we just talk about if audience and people watching this live, they want to know more about Tobacco Warehouse, and it's just they feel free to go to tobaccowarehouse.co.uk, and we also post this website, the link, and into our comment box in the live chat room, so that if they want to know more about it, just click in and to have a look for further details. Yep. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. And take a rest first. And when we talk about like how to buy it, how to reserve the units, and we will invite you again to talk more about like how to buy, how to purchase the properties. And thank you, Patrick, first. Yeah. Thank you， 係啦，咁啊，其實我哋啱啱咧就阿 Patrick 都好詳細同我哋去講咧，就係即係成個即係嗰個 Tobacco Warehouse 佢個背景啦，其實佢嗰個裏邊嘅建築啦，無論係
建築啦、周圍啦，
係啦，外面啊、裏邊啊、建築啊，其實究竟裏邊係點咧？會唔會裏邊都係即係同出邊咁嘅樣，其實又唔係嘅。咁因為其實純粹都係保留翻出邊嗰個歷史建築，但係其實裏邊係一個好煥然一新、一個好摩登嗰個室內裝修咯。咁其實大家如果即係大家都想即係想知多少少啊，或者想即係想睇多啲靚相嘅話咧，其實亦都可以去到 tobaccowarehouse.co.uk 啦。咁我哋都擺咗喺 comment box， 大家可以瀏覽啦。咁其實即係講咗咁耐呢個項目，其實大家都應該都會即係好想知道，其實我講一個。即係其實大家即係唔係住就投資㗎啦，咁其實佢嗰個無論住投資，大家都可能 都想知道其實佢嗰個 investment return 啦。咁啊，其實亦都想知道其實究竟而家呢一個 Tobacco Warehouse 個 project 嘅個 price range 係幾多啦。咁所以其實我哋咧嚟緊咧，我哋即係都而家都會再次請翻 Andy 上嚟啦。咁至於阿 Pat，其實一陣間咧 Patrick 都會同我哋再講究竟要點買。咁其實我咧都會再請翻佢上嚟㗎。咁所以其實我哋而家事不宜遲，我哋請咗 Andy 上嚟先啦。係啦。
Hello
there.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Patrick just show us like outdoor external views, internal views of the Tobacco Warehouse, and I believe that people Hong Kong audience may want to ask like how much is that, and what's the investment return, and how would I really invest in Liverpool. So how is that? So would you mind to share us a bit more information about that?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. Well, firstly, thanks to Pat again for showing us through the opportunity at the fantastic Tobacco Warehouse. I hope you'll agree, you and your viewers, that it really is a unique opportunity. Certainly, there's no more of these buildings left. Very few of them left to be developed, certainly in the UK. So with all that history that goes along with these apartments, it truly is a unique place to live. So what's available at the Tobacco Warehouse? So obviously, we've got many units available in there at the moment. A lot have already sold, as we touched on earlier, with mainly owner-occupiers, so people who are actually going to be living there, not as an investment, which is, again, makes it fantastic opportunity for anybody who's looking to invest in there, because the majority of the units will be lived in and not rented out. So that creates a good opportunity. So the apartments, we all agree they're very big size, very spacious, certainly fantastic for family to move into the building. And the price range start from £215,000 right up to some of the premier apartments, which is up to £610,000 for the large units, which is 2,500 square feet plus. So very, very spacious apartments. Great for capital growth opportunities outlined by Pat earlier. Example sort of returns. So as you can see there, so strong yields on these, and we envisage strong yields for the foreseeable future because the type of development it is, because it's so unique. If families, young professionals looking for internal space, which is what we've seen the shift in recently, these are the apartments that they're going for, because no other development has been built to this size. So example returns are about 5.2% up to 6% plus on your investment.
係，其實啱咧，其實 Andy 同我哋講咗咧，其實就係你即係幾錢啦。咁其實大概其實佢個 range 咧，其實係由英鎊啦，即係21萬鎊去到61萬鎊啦。咁其實大概即係維翻嗰陣而家1對10啦。咁其實就係即係200幾萬起嘅。咁啊，其實就真係即係大家都可以去諗下，就係你200幾萬，其實我就可以住到一個咁靚嘅地方啦。其實一個 art piece 啦，又係一個 loft 啦，一個小複式啦。咁啊，其實呢一個就即係我哋頭先都講就係即係利物浦個房價其實係比倫敦平好多，即係其實即係無論係生活指數啊，或者係嗰個房價，咁其實都係你而家見到即係好多 units 其實都係由25萬至到你即係40萬英鎊啦，即係400幾萬。咁啊，其實喺我香港人嚟講，我哋其實即係可能普通買一個 studio 啊，或者係 one bedroom 可能都幾百尺。咁但係就係講緊而家即係呢啲 units 其實就係即係可能即係300-400萬，其實就可能有一個過千尺，甚至可能接近1000尺。咁其實真係可以諗咯。其實亦都即係佢嗰個即係點解佢嗰個 return 會咁強咧？係因為其實好多都係即係本身當地人嗰個需求啦。咁同埋其實就係即係佢自己住嗰個需求好大。咁其實喺一個咁即係咁獨特啦，咁同埋其實有咁多需求咧，其實呢一個價錢其實真係大家可以諗下咯，係啦，咁即係究竟你覺得係平定貴？咁當然你會有自己一番嘅見解啦。咁啊，但係如果即係而家即係可能大家可能喺倫敦一區，咁可能倫敦2區，咁可能都聽緊可能係50萬或者可能係60萬英鎊或以上嘅，咁其實大家呢個亦都可以去考慮下咯，係啊。 Yep. Andy, and we just talk about the price, the price range, and to audience, like when compared to London property price, and normally the London property price, especially the zone 1 or zone 2, they are normally like over like 60 or 600 or 700 thousand pounds.
Of course, yeah.
For one bedroom or just a 2-bedroom, like apartments, maybe the area just like 500 to 750 square feet that you just mentioned. And but for now, the tobacco warehouse, not only now in the spacious area, but also the price is really reasonable. It's a really low, really cheaper when compared to London. Yeah.
Very, very competitive in comparison to London prices.
Yeah.
Certainly, when you take in comparison the internal size and square footage, there's no relation to what they sell down there.
Yeah, and so and especially like living in such like historical and iconic building. So and it's not only like living in such great project, but also the art piece that I just told Patrick. It's a really stunning. Yeah.
Yes. That's it. The building's unique. Certainly within Liverpool, everybody in Liverpool knows this building. It's and as Pat said before, on the horizon in Liverpool, and everybody drives past it most days to go into the city centre. So it has that appeal and the draw for just Liverpool people who want to live there themselves. So anybody who's looking to emigrate from Hong Kong, certainly fantastic piece of history to move into, and certainly a great investment as well, which we touch on there. If people are just looking to invest in have an opportunity to invest in the tobacco warehouse, Logic can certainly look after that investment for them on a hands-off basis, where we can look after the tenants for them, any ongoing maintenance issues that are there for them. So it's a totally hands-off investment that we can look after from start to finish, as long as they hold on to that property.
Oh, I see. Yeah. 其實啱啱 Andy 同我哋講咗幾樣嘢嘅。首先咧就係講緊就係嗰個價錢啦。咁佢另外就係佢嗰個即係investment return。咁啊，其實佢嗰個即係 gross yield 咧，可以其實由5% 起啦，咁去到係6% 以上都可以做到。咁因為其實即係主要一個 return 亦都係嗰個需求嗰個問題啦。咁啊之後另外其實Andy 你都講咗就係一個 management 嗰個問題，就係如果你而家可能未咁快嚟到啦，咁或者可能係因為而家 lock down 啦，咁其實我買咗，其實我未必過到嚟住。咁但係所以其實即係Logic Estate 其實亦都有一個即係 hands off 嘅一個嘅即係 property management 啦，係咯，項目管理啦。咁其實佢要幫你去即係做即係去管理你個物業啦，咁令到其實你就唔需要即係太過麻煩。咁因為其實講真，你去到英國。咁其實有好多嘢，即係可能即係水電煤啊嗰啲咁，其實都有個人問下都好啊。咁其實即係你即係都係要即係住得耐咗，你先會知道其實應該係點做。但係就開頭都總有一個開始咯。咁啊，其實即係 Logic Estate 其實佢哋一個即係地產啦，其實即係佢個即係物業代理，其實亦都可以即係喺呢方面都可以幫到你咯。
同埋因為咧，其實即係可能頭先就話第一期就2021年。幾好啦，咁另外就係即係佢成個community 其實都有好多即係唔同嘅即係工作崗位可以提供到啦，咁所以其實可能佢嗰個即係除咗投資者除咗自住之外，投資咧其實都個需求都好大，因為側邊亦都有一個新嘅足球場啦，咁即係可能好多球隊啊，或者以後亦都係創造咗好多唔同嘅工作機會啦、崗位啦，咁亦都係好多即係專業人士可能就會進駐喺嗰個區域啦，咁所以個租務市場其實都係好可觀咯。
係啊，咁其實如果 property management 究竟有啲乜嘢可以即係帶到俾大家咧？其實我哋嚟緊就問下 Andy 啦。So Andy, when you just talk about the property management, so it's a hands off. So which means that the buyers, it's a hassle free. They just buy the properties and and you guys can help to the manage the property. So matter maybe renting out or find the talents or how the money, the transfer or the rental, all those stuff. Can you say a bit more? Because we know that like Hong Kong, because now we are locked down everywhere, and we like somehow we just like buy the property, but we can't come to Liverpool right now. So what service like Logic Estate can provide to our buyers?
Right, so Logic, who are the main broker selling agent for Tobacco Warehouse, we can also offer the service to look after the property for the investors on a hands-off basis, where we've got many people who are registering to want to live there as tenants already. We have a tremendous amount of people already registering. Although we're saying right now they're only available to purchase, so people are saying, yeah, but I'm sure people are going to be buying them and want to rent some out, so can we be the first to rent there? Which is great opportunity, because as soon as we get them, we know we've got people waiting. But what we can do for that management is obviously any of the tenants going into the property, they would be vetted by us here, so proper credit checks to make sure that they're credit worthy, that would look after that investment for you, ongoing checks on the apartments, a 24-hour contact center for any ongoing maintenance that may arise from the apartments. They're brand new apartments, so there probably wouldn't be much, and just a general day-to-day running of looking after that investment for your buyers. All the tenants, as we said before, would be fully qualified and vetted. We look after all of the tenancy administration. Like many parts of the world now, there's many regulations surrounding tenancies and rentals. Logic Estates are part of the National Association of Estate Agents, also members of the Guild of Professional Estate Agents, and we were voted the best estate agents by the Sunday Times, which is a well-known paper by the Sunday Times in the UK. So we're well placed to look after somebody's investment and make sure that it goes swimmingly all the way through.
Yeah. So so when we talk about the property management, so how would be the management fee or other services fees so that will involve in that one? Yeah.
Okay, so within the apartments themselves, there would be when the tenants go in, there would be a small £250 setup fee to create the tenant and put the tenant in the property, and then there would just be a charge of 10% of the rent that's being achieved per month to just look after it. So very low management fees to look after the tenancy.
OK， 所以啱啱 Andy 同你講咧，咁我哋就話咁講真，即係你幫你去管理呢個物業，自然就有個管理物業費啦。咁啊，其實啱啱 Andy 都同你講咗，就係即係佢嗰個 set up fee 咧，其實就係即係250磅啦，再加個即係增值稅啦。咁啊之後其實咧，佢收費就都係你10% off 你嗰個即係嗰個 rent， 即係嗰個租金啊。咁啊，其實就係即係好似即係點講都係一個 reasonable 嘅價格咯。其實即係佢幫你又有24小時啦，咁啊其實又幫你幫你 check 你間屋啦，咁啊其實亦都係幫你揾 talent 啦，咁啊其實亦都係會即係當然啦，你交租其實佢自然就佢都要交俾你㗎，係咪先？咁啊依樣嘢咁你唔通你真係上門收咩？佢都會幫你去搞。
每個禮拜都會可以係啊。另外就係可能inspection 啊嗰啲都係啦，
咁呢啲其實都會照顧到咯。咁其實我相信大家都可能即係諗下其實如果即係講完呢啲價錢啦，咁其實究竟即係如果我係想係一個 overseas buyers 嘅話，咁其實我嘅俾咗 cat tax 嗰啲咧，即係究竟要俾幾多 tax 啊？咁其實我哋都有嚟緊，我就問 Andy 啦。So Andy, we just talk about the management fees, all the management services. So as a foreign buyers, just like Hong Kong people, and so like what's the tax scheme like? When how much tax we have to buy? How much tax we have to pay? The stamp duty, all those stuff.
Okay, so there would be 3% stamp duty for anyone buying and investors buying into the UK, and then obviously there would be 20% would be deducted from the rents. We can sort out the taxation, but the building does qualify for what's called NRL1, which means that any of your investors can look after their tax affairs themselves and report to the UK. That's not an issue. But if they need assistance in doing that's not a problem. We can assist with that.
That's great。係啦，咁啱其實咧 ，Andy 同我哋講咧，其實例如話即係嗰個俾稅嗰度咧，其實3%。咁啊，但係其實大家會唔會大家可能有好多其他稅項啊，或者其實唔知點計啊嗰啲咁嘅嘢。咁所以其實咧，即係一個可靠或者係其實一個方便嘅，即係物業有個人俾我哋問下咧，物業代理俾我問下，其實係好嘅，因為其實佢會你有咩唔明，其實佢會有一個 assistance， 即係其實佢會 assist 你，就話其實你而家嚟緊咧就係會俾幾多稅啊？或者係問題，佢哋可以解答到你啊。咁嚟話就係話咁嗰啲稅，咁其實你收到租金啦，咁你就要 income tax 啦。咁其實究竟我點俾咧？咁我係咪要點報稅啊？嗰啲咁嘅其實咧，你就方便嘅。其實就係佢喺你嗰個租金，即係佢俾你個租金，其實幫你減咗。咁啊，其實呢一樣嘢其實就免除咗，就係你又要自己計，又唔知幾時，又會唔會漏俾，又唔知點。咁其實佢幫你會搞埋咯。咁其實呢樣嘢其實都係幾方便㗎。咁啊，所以其實即係大家即係講真啦，即係其實有好多嘅細節啦。其實我哋都好想同大家分享。咁但係因為即係時間有限啦，我哋直播。咁所以其實咧有好多嘢咧，即係大家歡迎大家留言啦，或者可能係即係聯絡翻其實聯絡翻 Logic Estate 啦，咁其實有啲乜嘢都可以去 email 佢哋啊，或者係即係 WhatsApp 佢哋啊，或者係問佢哋。咁其實我相信佢都非常之即係願意去答你咯，係啊。So Andy, thank you for your information about the investment, the tax and the management, and we just talk to our audience like, okay, if you have any specific questions or other inquiry, just feel free to contact you guys.
And of course, anytime.
Yeah, and a contact email and a WhatsApp number and our comment box and pin tops and so just contact you directly. Yeah.
Of course, if they want to send an email or contact us through info@logicestates.co.uk, we've got a team of people here. You can talk to myself if they want to. And we can fill them in on any information that we haven't provided today, or if there's any questions that we haven't covered today, we're more than happy to answer any questions and satisfy people before investing or looking to purchase as a home in the fantastic opportunity that we've got at Stanley Dock.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy, today.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. 係啦，咁其實大家都啱啱 Andy 同我哋即係都分享咗咁多，其實即係由佢嗰個即係睇投資角度，其實究竟佢呢一個項目其實佢嗰個即係個回報率啦，同埋其實點解個回報率會好啦，咁同埋其實究竟有啲乜嘢佢哋即係 Logic Estate 其實佢
哋可能管理上面個服務會提供到啲咩啊費用啊等等啦。咁另外就係海外人士如果想投資嘅話，稅項啊，即係無論係即係收到租金之後有收入啦，咁另外個 income tax 又點計咧？咁其實佢哋都會即係幫我哋準備好晒咁。係啦，咁所以其實有啲乜嘢，其實或者可以留言啦，或者可能係 email 佢哋啦，直接。咁其實我相信即係都希望可以解答到你嘅問題啦。咁其實嚟緊我哋就話其實我哋講咗咁多樣嘢啦。咁其實究竟點買咧？究竟我哋點去做一個 reservation 啊，或者係點咧個 procedures 啦。咁其實我哋咧就會再邀請翻阿 Patrick 同我哋去講解，其實即係講多啲其實究竟點買啊，或者之後其實有啲咩聯絡方式啊，或者可能喺呢個買樓情況上面其實有啲乜嘢可能你話可能大家關心講 contract 啊，或者 solicitors 啊呢啲咁嘅嘢。咁其實阿 Patrick 其實嚟緊都會同我哋去再講多少少咯。咁我哋歡迎翻阿 Patrick 翻嚟先。 Hello Patrick.
Hi Patrick, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we just talk about okay, we have a more understanding about the background and the background of the projects and the house the life in the Liverpool and how the investment situations or the investment yield for the projects and so the most important section of our life is how to buy it and what's the positions and how to do the reservations. Yeah.
Yeah, no, very good. I think as Andy outlined, it's very simple. I actually put it up here, if I may, the website being tobaccowarehouse.co.uk. That will give you all the information in relation to the development itself. Brokers are our local agents, our Logic Estates, the award-winning broker, obviously Andy being one of the founding members, and that's their phone number. But also, once you get into the website itself, you can link on directly to register your interest. And I suppose the one thing about it is a lot of people, when we were tying with the idea with your good selves about doing this, we said we would leave it till now, principally because these units are complete in the next 3-4 months. They're almost complete. They're on their way at the moment. So it's not an off-plan purchase. It's not an off-plan where we can actually sell them and then hope to develop. These are actually developed. They're completing at the end of Q1, and effectively these are ready to be fitted out, to be moved into. And the big thing, as Andy referred to earlier, is that a lot of the purchasers to date are actually owner-occupiers because they are a decent size, with generous proportions that are actually livable residential units, urban residential units, being duplex units for in-town living. But there are actually a lot of them are being purchased by owner-occupiers, which is a big plus for the development. But the main thing is, if you're serious and you're interested, get in touch, get on the website. But you don't have to wait any huge length of time. The units will be ready for you to fit out in the first quarter of 2020.
Thank you Patrick。係啦，咁 Patrick 其實同佢都講咗咧，其實就係、即係其實而家都有好多，其實佢都收到好多嗰啲 inquiries 啊，去問即係究竟而家呢一個嘅項目啦，咁其實嚟緊個3-4個月或者出年咧，其實好快咧，呢一個第一個即係第一期就會完工啦。咁其實大家即係大家可以去即係了解多啲啦。其實亦都可以 send 佢哋即係 send email 俾佢哋去問多啲去詳情咯。咁啊，其實亦都即係嚟緊都可能都想幫觀眾問多啲問題，就係例如話即係一啲嘅即係如果我要去買樓，咁除咗我要同我 send email 俾佢哋之外，咁其實有啲乜嘢要注意？即係例如可能 mortgage 啦。咁其實我究竟香港人究竟係喺邊度做 mortgage？ 究竟其實英國有冇即係有冇可唔可以承托咗做 mortgage 啦？或者其實究竟即係 Logic Asset 會唔會幫到我哋咧？咁我哋而家就會問下 Patrick 啦，係啦。So Patrick, so I just want to like have our audience to ask you some questions. When our buyers want to buy in Hong Kong, so can they like apply mortgage in UK or anything we can support them, or they can just do the mortgage in Hong Kong or what else? Yeah.
And they can do both. We actually have set up a contact, and we can direct people to a dedicated Hong Kong-based mortgage broker who actually has access to all the main all the main lenders here in the UK. And we privately we can set up contact between the would-be purchasers and the broker who's based in Hong Kong, who has access to all the UK lenders. So the answer to your question is both. That's probably will be the most utilized conduit for getting mortgages if they're not getting mortgages locally back at home. But there is a broker based in Hong Kong who will meet and deal with them individually and get them UK-based lenders.
OK, thank you Patrick。係啦，咁其實啱啱咧就即係當然啦，頭先我就話其實問下 Patrick 究竟我哋 mortgage 點啦，因為其實即係大家即係始終都幾百萬，咁其實就即係除非你而家買樓即刻走嘅啫，但係其實如果我而家諗住買，其實我通常都好大機會都係會做貸款啊。咁其實究竟我係咪要而家我又飛唔到去英國啦？咁其實又即係究竟我喺點去申請咧？其實Patrick 其實同我哋講，其實
佢哋都有一個 connection 啊。
係啦，佢係 connection 嘅，其實一個 delegate 嘅 brokers 啦，係咁佢成日喺香港嘅，其實放心，其實佢喺香港嘅，咁其實大家亦都可以去，即係其實 Neil Jensen 啦，咁啊其實佢香港有公司㗎，咁其實咧佢嗰個係即係一個即係英國嘅即係做即係按揭貸款嘅公司啦，咁其實咧佢即係希望喺上面可以幫到大家或者直接啲啊，因為其實佢既然係講緊佢喺一個香港有辦公，即係香港有公司嘅英國嘅公司。
香港人啊，買家處理過即係相關嘅申請啦，咁同埋覺得有個優勢就係佢識講廣東話，咁即係因為大家就容易溝通啲啦，即係可能問嘢起上嚟都
咁就唔會有 language barrier 啦。咁啊，其實咧即係大家我而家講一講佢嗰個即係個 website 啦，其實就係即係 www.ukmortgages.com.hk 嘅。咁啊，其實大家亦都可以想了解多啲咧，其實亦都可以去佢個 website 啦。咁 咁其實大家其實就即係如果想再知多少少，亦都可以留言俾我哋啦。我哋亦都會再 send 翻佢哋呢一個嘅 website 俾大家啦，或者資訊俾大家啦。咁其實咧嗰個即係可能大家下一個問題就話，咁其實嗰個 mortgage rate 係幾多啦？咁其實亦都係即係可以去到7成啦。咁當然每個人嗰個情況都唔同啦，因為其實呢一個好過雲㗎。咁所以其實咧大家亦都有啲咩問題咧，亦都可以去自己去歡迎去問佢哋咯。
咁因為呢位 advisor 佢都係好熟悉Tobacco Warehouse 呢一個項目同埋呢個發展啦，咁所以係啦，都歡迎大家可以即係瀏覽佢哋個網站啦，或者可以諮詢佢哋。
係啦。So next question, Patrick. I think our Hong Kong audience would like to know that for the contract. So how about the legal service? Like how about the solicitors? Any advisors that maybe Logic SK can support our buyers?
Yes, we have a dedicated panel of 3-4 lawyers that we can introduce. You're not compelled to use them, but they've already been through the scheme, through the title, and have acted for purchasers already in the scheme, so they'll be very familiar with the title. And they're on hand, and they will do the legal work for the would-be purchasers.
Okay, that's great. 咁其實就即係阿 Patrick 都有講啦，其實就係佢哋都係有相熟嘅律師可以介紹俾大家啦。因為其實即係講真，即係我做完按揭啦，我去 send 埋煙啦，但係我唔知點買，咁都要律師幫㗎，係咪先？咁所以其實咧，即係Logic S 其實都可以幫到我哋咯。咁 OK 啦，咁最後一個問題啦，咁就係
要俾幾多錢？
係啦，咁我哋俾幾多錢 deposit 咧 ？So the last question, Patrick. So
yes.
How much deposit we have to pay if we want to buy Tobacco Warehouse?
Yeah, it's a reservation fee, which is refundable, but a 5,000 reservation fee to book your unit, and then typical and to conform with the normal, it would be a 20% deposit, and the balance then all on completion.
Oh, I see. So the £5,000 is refundable for the reservation fee, and for exchange contract, so that would be another 20% of the property price.
Correct.
OK 係啦，咁其實啱啱就同即係都問咗啦。咁其實我想買嗰啲俾幾多錢咧？咁首先其實得個
5000英鎊，
係啦，5000英鎊嘅即係個預留費啦。咁其實而家大概1對10啦，咁其實即係5萬啫。咁其實呢個係退得翻嘅，即係 refundable 嘅。咁其實 OK 啦。咁如果真係但係要簽 contract 啦，咁真係要落大訂啦，叫大訂啦。咁其實係20% 咯。咁其實就係即係如果 let's say 係啦，咁例如話而家我哋即係有好多 units，let's say 可能係25萬英鎊啦，大概250萬。咁其實我嘅即係2%，咁其實就可能係50萬即係港紙咯。其實係啦，咁所以其實呢個就即係俾大家一個參考咯。咁所以其實我哋依家即係希望我哋呢一個嘅即係 live program 或者呢個直播咧，其實係可以即係提供到多啲資訊啦。其實即係除咗倫敦，其實或者有其他城市俾你去揀咯。咁所以其實我哋即係希望呢個資訊可以幫到大家，同埋佢都透過呢個直播可以介紹一個即係咁大個嗰個即係 regeneration 嗰個 area 啦，或者佢個 development 啦，或者俾大家聽，同埋呢一個 Tobacco Warehouse 係幾咁特別啦。咁所以其實今日真係好多謝 Patrick 同埋 Andy 啦。我哋介翻我哋請翻 Andy 上嚟先，係啦。So OK. We really thanks you guys. I thank you Andy and thank you Patrick to share us more about like another alternative options for Hong Kong people. They not only consider London but also Liverpool, and Liverpool is a really amazing city for them to consider to migrate. No matter it's like a cheaper living cost, lower property price, and has a very great potential in the future for the whole area, like the Stanley Dock and Tobacco Warehouse. So thank you very much, you guys, and I will see you guys next time.
Hopefully.
Thank you for having us.
Bye. 係啦，咁其實我哋都好多謝佢哋兩位啦。咁其實即係頭先都講咗，希望可以幫到大家資訊。咁其實咧要再都講多句啦。如果大家咧有其他即係對於利物浦啊或者係英國 即係佢資訊咧，其實都歡迎大家去留言俾我哋咯。即係其實即係我哋即係 Facebook 啦 ，GY.Asia 嘅 Facebook message 我哋啦，而家留言啦我哋啦，或者係 email 我哋啦。咁如果你對於項目有好多即係再多啲興趣咧，除咗可以瀏覽佢哋嗰個網站 tobaccowarehouse.co.uk 之外咧，亦都可以去聯絡 Logic Estate 去問多啲詳情咯。咁我相信其實即係喺成個嘅購買過程啊，或者可能你而家想睇下先，或者想問多啲資料都唔緊要嘅，其實你都可以去聯絡佢哋咯。係啦，係啦，咁我係啦，
係咯，咁好多謝大家收睇今日嘅直播啦。
咁希望下次可以再同大家再分享多啲比較特別啲嘅地方啦，或者係特別啲嘅項目啦。因為其實我哋都即係覺得即係其實喺海外買樓，其實除咗係唔同嘅地方，我哋可以見識同大家講多啲資訊啦，見識多啲啦。咁啊，其實咧即係唔單止係即係住宅啊，或者咁特別嘅項目啦。其實我希望可以帶到唔同嘅資訊俾大家，或者唔同嘅款類俾大家。咁啊希望大家中意我哋呢個節目啦，繼續支持我哋啦，係啊。係啦，咁今日時間差唔多啦，咁我哋下次再見，好，拜拜。